forgive you for your fault.
Yeah, we'll be in this together. Okay, so there we go. So first question is, how would you describe your portfolio?
Describe Bowler's portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's eclectic, I suppose, on one level, and obviously we're focused on the smaller growers, but I never wanted to be a specialist in any one or a niche company, so to speak. Never wanted to focus on any one thing, any one region, or any one style. I like wine too much to want to focus that way. So when I also started in Burgundy, that was I know a lot of people start in wine elsewhere and end up in Burgundy because all roads lead to Burgundy. But I began there partly because I married a French woman whose roots are from Lyon, which isn't far, and we would spend time in France. And I would just, as I got into wine, when I was younger, Burgundy was not quite as expensive as it is now. It was a little bit more affordable. So I traveled a lot, and I think that informs that my love of Burgundy informs the whole portfolio of Bowler, of the import side. So I would describe it as focused on small growers, eclectic, not niche, but focused with a sort of Burgundian point of view. If you
like a lens, a Burgundian lens in some ways.
Yeah, but we're the grower and the grower and the place. That's what interests me. Not just the wine and the place where it comes from, but the people who are making it, because those are the things that make a difference. It's where does the wine come from and who's making it.
Gotcha.
Right?
So why did you start the company?
Well, I saw an opportunity. I had been working for other companies. Can you hear that noise in the background? Is that
a little bit, but you know.
Yeah. Sorry. I started because I saw an opportunity to in my life. I was in my 40s, and I realized that I had gained some valuable experience working for other importers and other distributors, and there was a moment where it looked like if I could pull enough things together, I actually would have a small portfolio to begin with, without going into all the details. But basically, the opportunity, the timing seemed right to me in my mid-40s. And also, I always wanted to work for myself. I have that in me. I've always wanted to be my own boss. I enjoy managing teams of people. At one point in my life, I wanted to be a filmmaker. And I like organizing. Yeah, well, nobody's born wanting to be in the wine business, right?
No, I mean, not that I know of it.
Unless you're a winemaker offspring.
Born into a winemaking family or something.
Yeah. But no, I enjoy managing teams. I enjoy the business side as well as the wine side. So it just was, and then seizing the opportunity when it happened. So that's why I started my own company.
And is there anything what's the most surprising thing from the experience? That's a hard question, but what is it?
No, it's actually easy.
Oh, okay, good.
Because I have a basic insecurity about my abilities. The most surprising thing was that we have been successful.
I like that answer a lot. I can appreciate that answer from my own standpoint.
I fully expected to fail.
Well, congratulations about that.
Yeah, no, so far so good. 17 years later, we're still making money, even during this very difficult time.
What do you think stands helps you stand apart as why should people care about David Bowler versus any other importer?
That was a question I thought the most about when I saw it. I think it comes down to look, there's a lot of good importers out there, or not a lot, several anyway. And so nobody really needs another portfolio. There's a lot of good wine to be purchased out there. So what makes us stand apart? I think it's a combination of things, pretty basic things. One is my experience, and you know, you can't replace the experience that you have in life. And I've had the good fortune of working with really great people at great companies in the past, including Skurnick and Daniel Jonas at Jeroboam, two very important influences for me. I've been all over the world, basically Italy, France, Spain, California, Oregon, Germany, Austria, and tasted with some of the best domains and some of the greatest places, with some of the greatest winemakers, including people like Jean-Louis Chave and some of the benchmark people. Romani, I had the opportunity to taste at Romani Conti. So that experience is what I bring to the import side of Bowler. And I think I know a good wine, a good winemaker when I taste it. I'm pretty good at that, not because I have some magical palate. It really is informed by all the experiences I've had and what I've learned from other people. What makes a good wine, because you can argue all day, right? What makes a good wine? Its taste is being subjective, but when you taste enough great wine with enough great winemakers, you kind of get a sense about it. The other thing that makes our company special is I don't do this by myself. And so I've mentored a couple of my brand managers, because we have, our several brand managers, as you know, covering, one covers Spain, South America, Michelle covering France, and someone covering Italy, and somebody else covering South, did I say South America? In any event, a couple of them I've mentored. And now, of course, some of them are teaching me about what they've learned. So it's the team that we have, I think, makes Bowler quite different and makes us what we are. It's a really strong, solid team of people that find the wines from, because it's way too much for me to do by myself, and I never wanted to do it by myself. Yeah, I think that's what makes us who we are.
It probably doesn't need to be said, but I can't quite help myself. I mean, I've admired the portfolio for a long time, so you've got some fans in California.
Oh, good.
Obviously, or else why would we, be in this partnership in the state? But it's certainly an admirable portfolio, but without question. So,
well, thank you.
Just shifting gears a little bit, briefly discussing the bizarre situation we're in now, and because, like I said at the beginning, these are the strangest times I think many of us have ever lived through, right? So, is there anything that has surprised you about, not necessarily in a negative way, but negative or positive, about this quarantine, like with your experience?
As it relates to the wine business, you mean?
No, not necessarily. Just as it relates to you, like you said, you're drinking more cocktails. Maybe that was surprising. I don't know, but
yeah, for sure. Drinking more cocktails is one thing, and that's been good, because we do also import spirits, and so now I have an opportunity to really learn about them, and that's been educational, and it's I like learning new things. It replaces all the stuff I've already forgotten.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
But the other thing is just how connected people want to be during this. It's interesting. Everybody could quarantine for like 2 weeks and be no problem, but then suddenly, Zoom has just taken off, and here you can say it's a business tool, but you don't need to see people. But we have this need to connect visually too. At least in the wine business. And that's what's always attracted me to the wine business, is that it is a business about relationships and people. And so far, so good in terms of maintaining them. We feel horrible for our restaurant customers as a distributor in New York and New Jersey. We don't, I feel terrible for the restaurants, but it'll pass. They'll come back. Most of them will come back. I really believe that. I don't think this is a permanent. It's been going on so long now that people are getting used to it and think like, oh God, is this the new normal? You know, are they ever going to come back? But they will.
Mhm.
I'm sure of that. It's just going to be a little bit different and take some time, but
Yeah,
they'll be back.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do you have any hobbies or a hobby that has helped you maintain your sanity?
Yeah, I have this nutty idea I've been playing a lot of piano. I played when I was a kid, and I just decided I really wanted to get back into it and really learn how to play and get it to a decent level. So I've been spending a couple of hours almost every day at the piano, and that's something I can do now that I couldn't do if I were commuting back and forth to work. So yeah, I would do it then anyway, you're saying? Yeah. But I decided last September, so this predates the pandemic, but being in quarantine at home has given me an opportunity to really to do that and get by. And also my wife and I are watching, like a lot of people are watching series on TV in the evening. I think a lot of people are catching up on things that in the past looked like, well, that's too big a commitment, 7 seasons. But suddenly it's like, yeah, okay.
Well, I can make time for that. Yeah.
And then one other thing is, I seem to be busier than ever. My wife and I are doing some, I call them music videos. So we've been, because as I said, I was an aspiring filmmaker, and that's how she and I sort of met when we were younger. We did make movies when we were in our 20s. So we've kind of been experimenting a little bit with that as well. So
That's interesting.
keeping busy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully enjoying it a little bit.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? You know, I'm very fortunate. I have a house. We have a yard. I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm not stuck, cooped up in an apartment. I feel terrible for people who are stuck that way. It can't be fun, especially with kids.
I think about that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, it sounds like torture.
Yeah.
So do you have what like a music that you've been listening to more than other music, or do you have anything that you have stuck on it?
Yeah. Are you you're into music? Are you a
I do. I mean, I think I'm fairly eclectic in what I listen to, but I found that there's things that I'm listening to over and over again and I don't really know why, but
stuff from when you were like growing up, or new stuff?
No, mostly new stuff, but
Yeah.
just for whatever reason, I feel like a lot of things in life have, soundtracks, time periods in your life have soundtracks. And when I listen to certain things, they kind of bring me back to that, whatever time, I was listening to that a lot. So, we'll come away from this and have a soundtrack somehow.
Well, I have two sons, and the younger one, Etienne, is a drummer in a band that's very successful. They're called Mr. Wives. There's a little plug for them.
Oh, wow.
But they're not on tour now. Obviously, nobody's on tour, but they've been spending the last 5 years touring and making records. They're on their third album, and the album is being released. And so I've been listening to their record. It was released today. The album, the full album was released today. Mr. Wives.
Mr. Wives.
And no, they're great. But I also have this. My wife thinks I'm a pretty. Maybe losing it in my old age, but I bought myself an old Victor phonograph, a wind up with a big.
Oh, wow.
And I've been buying 78 RPM records from like 1905 to 1925. Yeah, that's what I'm listening to. A lot of opera. Foxtrot, and early blues and jazz records from the 20s.
Well, that's a soundtrack.
Believe me, it somehow works. Yeah, and it's really cool because you don't have to turn this thing on or turn it off. You just wind it up.
I don't think I've ever played around with one of those. That's fun.
I hadn't either, and then I don't know why it happened, but I got hooked on this thing, and so I bought one, and it's really been it's been fun to sort of explore the music from the era of pre-electronic recording.
Mm-hmm. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So final question, pivotal question, not really.
Yeah.
What's your drink?
My drink. If I say Negroni, I'm going to sound like I'm just so uncreative, right?
That's my drink too. I can't argue.
But I do love a good Negroni. I think, but I don't have a drink. I have things that I don't like more when it comes to making myself a cocktail. You mean like a cocktail?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Is
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more. I like the whiskey based ones, and I like the sour ones.
Understood.
But whiskey sour.
The whiskey sour hits both buttons.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate it, David. It's
Yeah, of course.